Number 3, he must be an interesting man. Jesus said, if you know the person that is talking to you. The girl said, I want to know, man. I want to know. He said, the water that you're talking about, when you drink, you will get thirsty. But the water that I give, she said, give me this water. In her head, she has calculated husband number 7. She had 5, and the one she was with now was her 6th. So she had calculated number 7 husband. And number 7 is the number of perfection. And as Jesus was talking, something was stirring on the inside of her. I don't know about the rest of you, but intelligence is sexy. When you can have a conversation with somebody that is interesting, he has something to say. When Jesus finished talking to her, she didn't want to stand up from there. She started talking, she started asking him more questions. Oh, yeah, be going now. Either you give him water or you go. The girl was asking questions that did not concern. Say, are you a prophet? Is that what we are saying? So he must be an interesting man. He must be someone who has something to offer you. The Bible says 2 are better than 1, for they have a good reward for their labor. That means he has to bring some labor to it. He has to be interesting. We have to be able to gist. We have to be able to laugh. We have to have conversations. So number 1 is what? Number 2 is what? Number 3 is what? Number 4, he must have a strong sense of identity. There's nothing as bad as marrying an insecure man. Listen, ladies, you must marry a man whose vision is large enough to accommodate yours. A man who understands who he is. Jesus would walk around everywhere saying, I am the bread of life. I am the good shepherd. He knew who he was. And he was comfortable. He said, the reason why you are talking, I said you should give me water, you're asking me questions, is because you don't know the gift of God that is before you. He had a strong sense of identity. He knew who he was. A man that doesn't know who he is can never recognize who you are. Never. He will want to keep you small. He will want to make you inferior. I had a friend when I was in university. She got married while we were in school. So she got married in her 2nd year. Or I don't even know if, maybe she was married. No, she was married before she came into school. Yeah, she was married before she came into school, Ife. And this girl was very intelligent. But every time we had a test, for some reason she was absent. Because she had to go home every weekend. Her husband lived in Lagos. We schooled in Ife. She had to go home every weekend. And the real reason why she had to go home every weekend was the man wasn't comfortable enough to leave her in school because he's wondering what she's doing over the weekend. An insecure man. And any time they have a misunderstanding, if he says something to her and she answers, he's like, oh, because he didn't go to university. He's like, oh, so you think you know more than me? You're not going back to school, so he will lock her in the house. This girl finished with a 3rd class. Not because she wasn't intelligent, but she married a man who refused to allow her fly because he was insecure. So marrying a man that is insecure is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Jesus was very confident. She said, how can you, a Jew, ask me? Jesus said, you don't even know what we're talking about. You are still talking Jew. I'm saying you need to understand the gift of God. He must be a man that can sell himself to you. He must be comfortable in his own skin. You shouldn't intimidate him. Because you will do great things. You're called to do great things. So if you marry a man who doesn't want to do great things, guess what? Go press you. So the first thing is what? He must be. Second thing is he must be. Third thing he must be. Fourth thing he must be. He must have strong identity. And the last one. He must be a man who is invested in you. A man who is invested in bringing out the best in you.